Hi everyone! As you can see from the title, I'm doing my OC drawing challenge again. If you're new here, basically I made this little challenge, and at this point it's become a series on my channel. I choose an OC of mine, do the challenge with them, and talk about the lore in videos. It's a nice way for me to work on a specific character a little more, and also have the lore in one place, if that makes sense. If you haven't seen the previous videos, it could be useful to check them out. Some of the characters and plot points I talk about there will come up here, so it could be confusing. I'll still try to explain all of it though, so do what you want. Anyway, this time my victim is Mingyu Kim. Let's not waste time and just get into it. As usual, I like to start by drawing a base of the character. Quite a few of the prompts have to do with clothes, and to save time I just use one base for every outfit. Though if you decide to do the challenge, you don't have to do it exactly like me. If you want to do a brand new drawing for each outfit, be my guest. Mingyu is from my story called The Witch's Sorrows. He is a 19-year-old college student, he likes drawing, he loves his friends very much, he's a member of the student council, and even though he was kind of forced into it by his teacher, he really enjoys it and it helped him come out of his shell. Personality-wise, he's friendly, pretty social. I mean, he kind of has to be, but he's also really guarded. Over the years, he's learned to filter himself. He carefully chooses what to share with people and what to keep to himself. In high school, he was bullied for being gay, and there are lots of rumors surrounding him, even following him into college, so he tries to manage that to the best of his ability. With his closest friends, he's loud and happy and even a little judgy. He loves making friends, but he's also very particular about it. I actually really like how this base turned out. I was a little nervous about the body. I still have trouble with male naked bodies, but here it turned out pretty good. Now let's get to the actual prompts. First up is default design. A lot of my characters don't really have a default design, but in Mingyu's case he does. When I don't have a specific outfit in mind for him, I usually do a sweater vest, a button-up shirt, and some baggy jeans. It's pretty much the outfit I gave him when I first redesigned him. His style hasn't really changed much since then. He likes comfortable stuff, sweaters, shirts, button-ups, baggy pants or longer shorts. He likes wearing colors, pinks, yellows, greens, purples, but not too much. He doesn't want to blend in, but also standing out kind of scares him. Next is old design. I feel like no matter what, your character will change the more you draw them. The change could be gradual, they change with your style, you take in new inspirations and apply them to the character slowly grows with you, or, if you're like me, you sit down and purposefully redesign the character to give them a new life. Mingyu is one of those characters for me. I originally made him all the way back in 2018, when I was in middle school. I was able to find some of those old drawings. My art style was very different back then, but besides that, Mingyu looked a little... yeah. I was kind of just throwing stuff together, honestly. Blue hair, pink tips, because why not? Eyebrow slit, that's cool. A freaking neck tattoo, a bunch of beauty marks, whatever. Make him a sweetheart, make him wear cute stuff, but also alternative stuff sometimes. I guess. It just feels very disconnected to me, now that I look back on it, but he actually didn't change that much in the redesign. I just lean more into the sweet and cutesy aspects of his design, remove the pink tips. I felt like that made everything too cluttered. I got rid of that freaking tattoo and replaced it with a birthmark, which I love a lot actually. None of my other characters have that. Got rid of the eyebrow slit, fixed his style, and gave him more clearly Korean features. He's always been Korean, but with my old style that wasn't clear at all. I mean, yeah, it's a simple style, but it's still possible to give the character different eye shapes at least, but I just didn't. His personality was very bland as well. He was kind of childish, and I hate it looking back. Now I make a conscious effort to make him act like the grown adult he is. He is sweet, he is kind, but he's not a child. Anyway, I kinda hate this, but it's cool to see the difference. Moving on to formal clothes, what the character would wear to a party, or prom, or some other event that you have to dress up for. I didn't do anything crazy here. Mingyu would go with a suit, but definitely not a simple black tux. I gave him a light suit, a few rings, a necklace, not blending in, but also not standing out too much. I actually have drawn Mingyu at prom in the past, along with Bonnie, but that's when they graduated high school. Mingyu probably got the suit as a hand-me-down from his dad, he didn't choose it. This one though, he did choose and style it the way he wanted to. Next is school uniform, and for this one I did a separate piece instead of using a base. I drew Mingyu and Bonnie back when they were in school. They went to a regular public school and they didn't exactly have a uniform there, it was more of a dress code. The students had to wear black, white, maybe grey or beige, and nothing too extravagant, if you get what I mean. Bonnie and Mingyu weren't very liked in school, Mingyu for being the only Asian kid in the class and later for being gay, and Bonnie for being quiet and a little strange, to say the least. She doesn't filter herself and just says everything how it is, or she just outright ignores people she doesn't like. The two of them usually just sat in their little corner, stuck by each other. I had fun drawing this. The perspective was a little tricky, and I still feel a bit iffy about the proportions, but it's fine. Also, Bonnie's face turned out pretty good here. Sometimes she turns out a little weird. Next up is PJs, what the character wears to sleep. This one is nothing fancy. Mingyu just wears an old shirt, some plaid pants, and socks. If it's cold, he'll add a hoodie on top of it. And yes, he sleeps in socks. He gets cold very, very easily, so he kinda has to. Fursona, or a human sona if your character is already a furry. This one was tricky. The fursonas are always tricky for me. I chose a fluffy chihuahua for Mingyu, and everything was going pretty well until I got to coloring. I don't know if the final drawing reads as a fluffy chihuahua. I really don't. Maybe it's the blue that's throwing me off here? Probably. I still like it though. I'm slowly getting more comfortable with drawing these furry little creatures. And when I posted this, it almost immediately got Gumball comparisons. I guess I should have expected it. Next is as a kid/adult, and for this one I actually did a little comic. It's a little Mingyu with a little Bonnie asking his sister Hyunjae for ice cream. Hyunjae is 6 years older than him. In this comic their ages are meant to be 16 and 10, but I kind of messed up and made Mingyu and Bonnie look younger than that. That's my bad. Hyunjae spent a lot of her childhood babysitting Mingyu, and later Bonnie as well. Because of that, they didn't get along too well for a while, plus the age gap, but once Mingyu got to his teenage years, they became inseparable. Hyunjae was the first person Mingyu came out to, and she's always supported him. When his parents found out, they were not supportive, unfortunately, and they cut him off. In the main story, Hyunjae is still in semi-regular contact with Mingyu. They text all the time. Sometimes they meet and have lunch together, but they're both busy, so it doesn't happen often. She tries to repair his relationship with their parents. She tells them how he's doing, all of that, but they're stubborn and very conservative, so nothing much has come of that. I really like this comic actually. For Hyunjae's outfit, I went for a 2016 kind of vibe. The story takes place in modern day, no specific year, so this comic would take place around 2016. That was fun. I just know she had a jean jacket that she wore with every outfit and she actually cried when she had to throw it away. And as a little detail, both Hyunjae and Mingyu are Korean and they speak both English and Korean, and I imagine that at home and with each other they speak in a mix of the two, replacing some words or entire phrases and sentences. For example, they say Omma and Appa instead of mom and dad. It's a small detail, but it adds to the characters. Next is swimwear, and this one is super simple. I could have made this into a separate piece, but I really did not feel like it. I might draw the whole cast at the beach once I go through all of them. Maybe. Anyway, Mingyu just wears shorts, nothing crazy. He also covers himself from head to toe in sunscreen and likes to swim. Next is winter clothes, the opposite of the previous prompt. I always love this prompt. Most of The Witch's Sorrows is set in warm or slightly chilly weather, but I find it interesting to think about how the characters would dress during the winter. It also shows off their personality a little more through their clothing choices. Do they care more about looking good or being warm and comfortable? Do they get cold easily or not? Mingyu needs to be wrapped up from head to toe. He gets cold and sick so easily, so he's suffering during the winter. He needs at least 2 shirts, 2 pants, a jacket, scarf, beanie, gloves, socks, warm shoes, maybe even a face mask to keep his face warm. He stays prepared. He doesn't really care to make it match, and he has a few scarves and beanies that Cassandra made him. And this video isn't about Dan, but I still want to talk about it. Mingyu and Dan are kind of opposites with this. Dan always stays warm, no matter the weather. He rarely wears beanies or scarves. He even keeps his jacket open most days, and it always annoys Mingyu. He has to spend so much time making sure he's warm enough just to end up sick anyway. Mingyu actually gets sick very often, but it usually stops at a fever or a sore throat, and it lasts just a day or two. Meanwhile, Dan gets sick very rarely, but when he does, he's basically dying. He gets all the symptoms, and it lasts for at least a week, and he's a huge baby about it, while Mingyu just goes on with his day. As a bonus, I also made a little comic of Mingyu getting into this outfit, layer by layer, just to get sick anyway. I didn't use any references for the poses here, and they turned out pretty good considering that. Alright, after exploring the character's style, time to flip it on its head and do the complete opposite. Spoiler, this is my favorite drawing from this video. I freaking love it and I had so much fun with it. So, in the Daisy video for this prompt, I drew Mingyu giving Daisy a coquette makeover, and in this drawing, she's getting her lick back by giving Mingyu a goth makeover. I just know she would go all out. Face paint, fake piercings, spiked up hair, accessories, and a skin-tight outfit. It's so not him. And listen, I think I fell in love. I really did. I just love everything about this. So much so, I decided to add it to the actual plot. Does it add anything? Not really, but I don't care. At some point, Daisy is going to give Mingyu a makeover and give Dan a heart attack. Then I actually drew Goth Mingyu again because it's so fun. I still need to draw him and Dan kissing and smudging the face paint all over the place. Anyway, moving on. Okay, I started burning out a little bit at this point. Don't mind that. Next on the list is with the character they're closest to. Mingyu is actually really close with most of the main cast, but Bonnie is definitely number 1. They basically grew up together and have always been there for each other. I wasn't sure what to draw for this. I ended up just drawing them judging something or someone. Mingyu can control his face but won't say anything, and Bonnie's face is, well, Bonnie's face, but she cannot filter herself when she decides to talk. I don't know who they're judging, but they're doing it together. Also, I like the coloring style here. I've been doing it a lot lately. I basically leave out the shading and highlights. It's a lot more simple, but I really like the look. Next is with the character they are least close to, and this one is a little more complicated. Mingyu is least close to Elsa. They actually don't directly interact. This might be difficult to understand if you missed the Elsa video, but she's a witch, and her main goal is to bring her boyfriend, also Dan's brother, back from the dead. To do that, she needs a lot of life force. As of right now, the way I want to do this is she basically curses the entire town. This curse shows up through what seems like common symptoms at first: nosebleeds, headaches, trouble sleeping. Then it quickly grows into insomnia, paranoia, visual hallucinations, awful nightmares. Basically, it exhausts the victim until their body can't fight back anymore, and because the symptoms seem normal, people think it's some kind of disease. And Mingyu falls victim to the curse. I actually wrote a little bit about this on my AO3. Yep, I have an AO3 account now. I posted a few lore snippets on there, most of them are Mingyu focused as well. If you're interested, you can check that out. I'm not a great writer, I actually haven't seriously written anything in almost 10 years, and this is in English on top of all of that, but I'm doing my best. Anyway, yeah, because of all of that, Mingyu and Elsa's dynamic is a little bit more complicated. It's not even personal for her, but, you know, gotta have things happen to the main characters. I really like how this turned out actually. It went much better than I expected. I was using this as a reference, and I tried to make Elsa's eyes look more realistic than my style. I kind of just zoned out for the entire process. Started making it, had a breakdown. Bon appetit. Moving on to the character's hobby, Mingyu likes to draw. He's been into it since he was a kid, but his parents did not encourage his passion. They thought it was distracting him. As an adult, he still enjoys it, but really downplays it. At one point, he wanted to go to art school, but couldn't afford it on his own, so he settled for a local college. I drew Dan looking through Mingyu's sketchbook, complimenting him, while Mingyu is flustered and downplaying his talents. His friends compliment his art all the time, but he still has to learn how to accept it. Nothing crazy here. There will be blood in the next drawing. If you need to, you can skip ahead to this timestamp. Next is Halloween costume. I don't like this one as much, gonna be honest. I actually drew Mingyu for this prompt in Bonnie's video. I drew them as kids dressed up as a fork and spoon. For this, I drew him and Dan in current day. Maybe their college did a Halloween party or something. They wouldn't go and buy actual costumes, they would just throw something together out of what they have. Mingyu they got fake vampire teeth, maybe Daisy gave them some fake blood, and they just smeared it all over their faces. And then they smudged it. On accident. And last but not least is family portrait. This one is always interesting. So, like I mentioned before, Mingyu has a mom, a dad, and an older sister. They're all Korean, and when Hyunjae was 3, they moved to the town where the story takes place. It doesn't have a name yet, but I want it to be a fictional small town. Bear with me. Mingyu was born 3 years after the move. His parents were always away, working, so they've never been super close. They were strict, had high expectations for both of their kids, but especially Hyunjae as the older one. When Mingyu was 17, rumors started spreading around him. His parents quickly got wind of that and found out that their son is gay. They made it into a huge argument and refused to listen to anything Mingyu had to say. In the moment, they threatened to kick him out right there, but then postponed it to when he turns 18. They followed through on that, but luckily for Mingyu, Bonnie's family accepted him into their home. He lived with them for a few months, and honestly he could have even stayed there permanently, but he insisted on moving out into a dorm. In the main story, he's not in contact with his parents and has complicated feelings about it. On one hand, he's doing fine without them, but he can't help but love them, deep down. He appreciates it when Hyunjae gives him updates on them. However, he considers Bonnie, Cassandra, and Beatrice his actual family. Sam and Daisy are up there too, along with Hyunjae, of course. As much as I hate to say it, I really like how his parents turned out, especially the dad. And to be like deep and cool, I made a second version where the photo is ripped up and you can't see the parents' faces. And that was it. It was nice to focus on Mingyu a little bit. I still need to do Dan and Sam. They definitely need some work and exploring, especially Sam, so I'll get to that at some point. Then I might do my other stories or some side characters in The Witch's Sorrows. I don't want to promise too much. I've actually been thinking about rebooting Warmed Up a little bit. That might become its own video as well. I guess we'll see. As usual, please feel free to do this challenge yourself. I love to see it. Do it at your own pace, switch the prompts around or skip them altogether if you want to. Just have fun. Also, I love how now I can't even do this challenge sneakily, because as I was posting all of these drawings, people kept guessing that this video was coming. The lore in this one isn't as heavy, especially compared to Elsa or Bonnie, but I hope you still enjoyed it. Like I mentioned, you can find some extra lore on my AO3. I'm pretty happy with Mingyu and Dan's first kiss. But that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching, hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. Check out my other socials, they will be on the screen and in the description. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!